Yes, guys, online guys and offline guys. Online guys, please check the voice and also screen and just wait for 2 minutes. Meanwhile, if there are any doubts from the previous sessions, let me know. So other people are joining. If any doubts from your side, let me know. We'll discuss. Any doubts, offline guys? Last last 2 days, we are discussing about the introduction part, right? So up to now, any clarity? I think I need to share the notes with you, right? Right. I'll share the notes here till what introduction part. Okay, today I'm going to share the notes with you. So you can go through notes also. You can note all the points also. Okay. Yeah. So now, yeah, online guys, any doubts? And make sure that the notes and also I think are you receiving the recorded sessions, all of you? What about online guys? Recorded sessions daily, day to wise, I mean day to day, daily. Anybody are not receiving recorded sessions? Okay, right. So okay, fine then. Okay, so up to now, just we discuss the introduction part of the Python. In that introduction, we discussed about like what is Python, who developed Python, when the Python has developed, what are the versions of Python, okay, and how to download and how to install the Python software and versions. Sorry, what we call features of Python. Okay, so these we discussed. Along with that, how to write the simple Python programs using the interactive mode and batch. Clear, no? Applications also, some of the real-time applications. All these I discussed as a part of this action part. Okay. Now, today we'll go to the next part two. But before going to the part two, I remember all these points. Did I miss anything here? Huh? Okay. I discussed it last, right? Yeah. Okay. I discussed everything. Extensible means here updatable. Okay. Python, whatever the Python softwares or applications which you design are updatable. Okay. That is what extensible. Any other doubts from these features? So platform independent I discussed. I shown one diagram to you, right? The programs or applications which you design using Python are able to run on multiple platforms, means multiple operating systems. That is what. Yeah. Any other queries from this features? Right. I'll share the notes also about all these. Not only headings here, I'm going to share the content also for this. Okay. Today or by tomorrow, you will receive that. No worries. Now today we'll start the fundamentals of Python. This is a part two. These fundamentals are very important. I said here we are going to learn the basics of Python. Okay. These are very important to write the programs and also to understand the programs. So every point is very, very important from here onwards. Okay. Now, first we'll start with constants or literals. Okay. Constants or literals. Constants means fixed value. The fixed value is called a constant. In Python, we have five types of constants. What are those? Integral constants. Example, the numbers. Positive numbers, negative numbers, zeros also called here integrals or integer values in Python programming. Floating point constants means, for example, 1.2, 5.99 means the numbers which you represent using the fraction part, like 1.2, 3.5, something like that, or 0.00 something. Okay, 0.008, something like that. These are all our what? Floating point constants. And these floating point constants you also can represent in exponential format. What's the meaning of this exponential format means? See, 3.4 e minus 2 means its meaning is 3.4 into 10 to the power of minus 2. Okay, now its meaning is what here? 3.4. Let's check the page here. E represent here exponent. Exponent, okay. Yeah. Here what I given? 3.4 e minus 2. Its meaning is, what I said? 3.4 into 10 to the power of minus 2. Okay. If you calculate, what is the value for this? You know, right? Mathematics? Yes. 3.4 by 100. Yes or no? 3.4 by 100 only. Yes or no? And now this is equal to what? 0.034. Yes or no? Right. So, if you provide the value 3.4 e minus 2 means that is equal to this value actually. Okay. You can use here capital E or small e. So next one is 1.2 e plus 3. By default plus only. You can use e capital or small. E represent exponent power. Exponent of power. Okay. 1.2 into 10 to the power of 3 is meaning. Next, complex constants. The numbers which are in the form of x plus or minus yj means x plus yj or x minus yj. The numbers which are in the form of x plus yj. For example, 2 plus yj, 10 minus, sorry, 8 minus 10j. Here also j can be capital or small. Right. Next, Boolean constants. True, false. These are called here Boolean constants. Whenever you compare the values, for example, 5 greater 2, that is what? True. At the time, that will return here true, like that. 5 greater than 2, that is true. Okay, like that. So, Boolean values, we use whenever you compare the values, that will be returned true or false based on the values. Next, string. String means sequence of characters that we can represent within pair of double quotes or single quotes. Here, character can be a alphabet, uppercase, lowercase, maybe digits, maybe any other symbol also. Okay, so string means sequence of characters, right? That's it. And in Python, we can represent within pair of single quotes or double quotes, right? So these are the 5 types of constants, basic constants in Python. Next, variable. What is variable? So variable is a name given to the data. For example, let's say observe this diagram. X equal 10 I given. X is what here? Variable or variable name. Right? Say 10 is what here? Data. Integer data. Okay. And otherwise, you can take one more definition also. Variable. Variable is a name given to the memory location. Because generally, whenever you store any value into the variable, that will be stored into the memory location only. Like this. Right side diagram you can observe. Okay. So see here. This is the memory. The box type is called here memory. Memory location or memory. Next, S is a variable and 10 is a data. So means actually we are giving the name for the memory location also. That's why you can say second definition. Variable is a name given to the memory location. Okay. Variable is a name given to the what? Memory location also. That memory location contains some data. Means that will hold some data. Okay. That is what. You can say two definitions here. That's it. Now, Here we can represent the variables. We can represent the variables different ways. Basically, three ways we can represent. So what are the three ways here? See, we can represent the variable using alphabets, A to Z any. That may be capital or small. Just now I was using something like x equal to 10. Or you can take capital A equal to some value like this. Using alphabets, you can represent. Next, using sequence of alphabets. Means, for example, age equal to 34. Okay. Or email equal to some email here. For example, Venus or you at the rate gmail.com like this. So depends on the data. Suppose this 34 is a age, so you can give the name also age here. Now this string is a email. That's why you can give the name also what? Email. Like that. Instead of using ABC XYZ. Second way, we can represent like this. Third way is we also can represent using alphanumerics. Combination of alphabets and numbers. Means for example, A1 equal to 10, A2 equal to 20. Like that also we can use. Understanding? So these are the three ways we can represent the variable. Okay, right. And then next we have some rules also. Okay, rules for name of the variable. How we ought to write and how we should not write the variable name. Okay, for that we have some rules here. First rule is variable name should not start with a number or digit. Number or digit. Means, for example, 1a equal to 10. If you do like this, is it valid? Or this is invalid. Even though, see, in the above point I said, variable can be represented using alphanumeric values like this, but you should not start with number. You can use a number later, middle or end like that, but not at starting. This is invalid. Okay, but a1 equal 10 is valid. Okay, this is the first rule. Second rule is variable name should not contain the special characters except underscore. You can use underscore. Okay. For example, um, I want to use a variable name like this. First underscore name equal to first name equal to, for example, Venu like this. First underscore name equal to Venu. Like that, you can use underscore. Next, third rule is, but don't use any other symbols except underscore. Don't use dollar or hash or something. Only underscore is valid. Next, no space. Don't give the space in the name of the variable. Okay. See, first underscore name I written, but if you try to use your space, this is invalid. First space name, this will not work. Okay, now that's why underscore you can use. Okay, right. So no space is allowed. Don't give the space in between the name of the variables. Next, so variable name is a case sensitive. Case sensitive means uppercase letters and lowercase letters are different. Suppose you are storing a value into a variable like this. Suppose a equal to 10, b equal to 20 like this. Whenever you want to do any operation on these AB values, you can use lower AB only, but don't use capital AB or uppercase letters. Suppose add equal to A plus B. Is it valid? Huh? Is valid. But if you try to do like this, A plus B like this, is it valid? Huh? Invalid. Second formula is invalid. Okay. So this is invalid. And this is what? Valid. Because here we created variables with lowercase letters, but you are trying to using what here? Uppercase. Is a one more rule. Okay. What is the fourth rule? What is the fourth rule? Variable name is a case sensitive. Okay, uppercase letters and lowercase letters are different, but not same. Okay, right. Okay, next, fifth rule. Yeah. So there are some predefined words are there in Python. Those predefined words we should not use as a variable. I'll show that list of the keywords here or predefined words. For example, if equal to value, it is invalid because if is a predefined word in Python. It's a predefined given by the developers. If class, don't use these type of words or names for the variable name. Okay, right. Next, the sixth rule is there is no limit for length of the variable. No limit for length of the variable. Means you can give very lengthy name also like this. You can give any number of characters for the variable. But however, we don't use that much of very lengthy names. We can use short names. Okay, right. That is a sixth rule. So these are the rules you have to remember. Clear guys? Yeah. And this is about the variable definition and how to represent variable and also rules of the variables. Next, identifier. See, identifier means name of a variable, okay, name of a function. Function we'll see later, okay. Class, package, module. So name of anything is called here identifier in Python. Identifier means that we use to identify something. Yes or no? You are having your name. That is for identification purpose. Same way in Python also, different elements are also having the names. Like variable having a name, function also having a name, class also having a name, package also having a name, model also having a name. So name of anything is called here identifier. Okay. All these, see, for all these identifiers, we have to follow the same rules which we followed for which one? Variable. What are the six rules I explained for you? Okay, that is for what? Variable. Same rules you have to follow for function, class, package, module names also. Understanding? Right. We'll see what are these function is what, class is what, package is what. We'll see all these later. Don't worry. But whenever you are using the names of anything in Python, you have to follow these rules. Six rules you have to follow. Next, keywords or reserved words. Okay. I'll show this in the slide. There are some list of keywords are available. Keywords or reserved words. See, basically, keywords means these are the predefined words given by the Python people. And see, these are the 35, total 35 words are available. 35 reserved words or keywords are available. So these are the list of keywords. You can go through once here, you can read later so that you can remember a little bit. So whenever, if I use any one of these words, you have to identify that this is a keyword or predefined word. Okay, right. Like true, false, null. These three are called actually literals. Literals means what? Tell me. Literal means constants. Means these three we can assign to a variable. A equal to true, A equal to false, or A equal to none. You can do like that. That is called what is a literal. But remaining cannot assign to a variable. Remaining whatever are there, you cannot assign to a variable. That's why they are the keywords. So true, false, none are the literals as well as keywords also. But remaining are the only keywords. Understanding, guys? Okay, right. So we'll discuss all these topic wise. Each and every word having a specific meaning and also functionality. We can use these depends on requirement in the program. Okay, we'll see all these. Don't worry. Next, data types. Data type means, in the last session I was explaining one point dynamically typed programming. There I explained something about data type, right? Like into float, okay, char, string, something like. These are called here some data types. So actually these data types we don't use to create the variables in Python because Python is having one feature is what? Dynamically typed programming. Okay. But other programming languages you have to use data types to create the variables like this. To create or you want to store. You can do in one step creation, next step storing the value. You also can do in two steps. That is also possible. Okay. Or you can do in single step also. Float equal to 1.2. You also can do in single step also. However, this syntax we don't use in a what? Python. Don't use the data types. Why we don't use already I said to you. Okay, right. But this syntax will not support here. However, data types are available internal. But as a programmer, we no need to use that. Right? The reason is already. So data type means what actually? A data type represent. Now float is a data type, right? So data type represent the type of data which you can assign or store to a variable. Okay. See, type is 1.2. It's a float type. That's why data type also what here? Float. Now see previous also here. Data is what type here? Integer type. That's why data type also what here? Integer. That's why data type definition is data type represents the type of data which you can assign to a variable. Assign. Assign means if you store like this using equal symbol, that is called here assign or initialization. Initialization. Initialization means here assigning a value to the variable like say equal 10. That is what here assigning. Okay. So remember all these terminologies also very important. Okay. Now, but however, in Python total we have 14 data types. How many? 14 data types. They are int, float, complex, bool, string. I discussed just now literals, 5 types. For 5 types of literals or 5 types of data, we have a data types also like this. Okay, along with that, remaining are range, list, tuple, set, rows and set, dictionary, next one, bytes, byte array, and none type, none or none type. 14, huh? Is it okay? 14. Anything is missing? Yes or no? Right. These are the 14. Int, float, complex, bool, string, range, list, tuple, set, present set, dictionary, bytes, byte array, and none type. Okay. So internally these are available, but we may not use explicitly. And among all these, first five are the fundamental data types, basic data types. Okay, remaining are little bit advanced data types. We'll discuss all these 14 types one by one. The first we'll look at it first five. I'm going to explain the first five right now. Okay. Now see, let's open the Python shell. Python shell. Okay. Yes, online guys are you able to catch. Let's open the command prompt and how to connect to the Python shell. You have to use which command here? Py or py. And this is called what mode? Which huh? Interactive mode. Python shell is called here interactive mode. I said already. Right. Now, okay, let's show here practically first five data types. Okay. Let's take first of all integer, but don't use data type because already you know that. But you can check here type also. Type is a one function, predefined function that is used to know the type of a variable or object. We'll see what is object. Don't worry. Okay. Now see class int. What is class also we'll see later because I cannot explain everything right now. Okay, now So I'm saying some class, I'm saying sometimes object also. Just wait for that. Okay. Okay. It is a actually int type. Now b equal to 1.2. So type of b floor. Okay. C equal to complex value I am creating here. C. Okay. Type of C is what? Complex. Now see, in this complex value, there are two parts are there. Left side and right side. Left side is what here? Real. Right side one? Imaginary. You also can extract this. C dot real. Real is called here one attribute, predefined attribute. Generally, predefined variable names are called here attributes. Okay, na? In the programming languages, generally predefined variables are called here attribute. Okay, like that, real also one predefined attribute. So if I say C dot real 2.0, okay, this will return by default in float format. Later we also can convert it to integer. Okay, by default here float format. Same way, C dot what? Imaginary value. IMAG also one more what? Attribute. Okay, na? 3.0 will be written like that. So you also can okay. Already I checked your type here. Now see, let's take here C2. Can I take the variable name C2? Yes or no? Can I use capital J? But I am not using the real part. Will it work? Working. But if I say C2 dot real, what is the real value? What is the value? 0.0. Okay. Imaginary. Okay. Right. That's okay. Next, one more thing. Float value we also can represent in exponential format. I said right. Let's do that one also. For example, f1 equal to 2.3 e minus 2 f1. If I print f1 here, you will see this value. Okay, now you can use e capital small also. That's all. This one also, which type here? Tell me. Float type. Right. Next, Boolean. For example, x equal to true. X. You can print the x. Type of x. Bool type. BOO here. Bool means here Boolean. Generally, whenever you compare the values, the Boolean value will be written here. Suppose 10 greater 4. Is it true or false? True. That's very true. Suppose like this. This is what? False. Okay. Right. Next string. Yes equal to, for example, you can use single quotes or double quotes here. Here I'm using Python. Yes. And check the type also. Here, that's it. So these are the what? First five data types, fundamental data types. Okay. Now see, basically, I said type is one function that is used to know the type of the variable or object. Same way, already one point that every variable also having a memory location, right? Memory location. And every memory location also have the address. Address. If you want to find that address of the variable or object, there is one function is there. That is what? ID function. ID of you can pass the any variable. Suppose I want to know the ID of the variable, yes. See, some ID that is usually in integer form. ID is a function. Like that, you can also check the ID of the integers, floats, complex, booleans. You can check ID of any variable, any type of variable. Okay, right, fine. So next, fine. Next, let's discuss about the next remaining. I'm going to discuss later. Not now, because this will take some time, and these are actually separate lessons also sometimes. That's why I'm going to discuss this later. Let's go to the next topic here, typecast. So typecasting means it is a process of converting the data from one type to another type, one type to another type. That is called a typecast. For example, I want to convert integer to float, or integer to character or string, okay, or float to integer. So we can do this. This is called a typecast, converting the data from one type to another. So here, if you want to convert the data, there are some inbuilt functions also available. First of all, I am going to show this typecasting on this fundamental data types or data. For int, there is a int function. For float, there is a float function. For the complex, there is a complex function. Same way, bool function and also string function. Okay, these are also, we also can use these functions as we also can use these data as a functions also like this. If you use a parenthesis, that will become what here? Function. Okay, parenthesis means like brackets, right? Now, if you take the first one, int function, this function will convert other type to integer type. Other type is float to integer, complex to integer, boolean to integer, string to integer, like that. If you want to convert, then you can use what? Int function. Let me show practically this one. Suppose let's take let's close this. Now I want to convert the float to integer. Float value I want to convert into integer. What is the result now? 5, like that. Or you can store 5.3 into one variable in the first one step. Later you can pass that variable to int function. You can pass. For example, if I say a equal to 5.3, you can pass int of what? A, like that also you can. So next int of I want to convert boolean value to integer. Is it possible? Yes. This will return 1 because true means 1, false means 0. Remember this. Okay. You can return. Next here, let's take, can we convert a complex data? This is not possible. Okay. 2 plus 3 say we cannot convert into integer type. Same way, string. Suppose I will take here Python. Can we convert this string into integer? How can you convert? This is not possible. Okay, now? Means some types we can convert, some types we cannot convert. So which one will convert, which one we cannot convert, that you have to. Okay. Because these are the incompatible things. Complex number we cannot convert into integer. Like same way, string we cannot convert into string of characters cannot be converted into integer. Right. Next, now see, let's take like this. Now will it convert? This is what actually the value string of integer. String of integer. So will it convert this one? Yes, this is possible. String of integer you can convert. Okay. But previously I given what? Some alphabets. Those you cannot convert. Okay. Let's try like this. Capital A. See, this is not possible. Okay. But you can provide the string of integer that you can convert into integer. Okay. Next, can we convert like this? So remaining also, for example, 1.4 given in string format. Can we convert this from is? Possible? This is answer is no. You cannot convert this. Okay. So which one we are able to convert finally? Float to integer, boolean to integer. Next what? String of integer. These you can convert into integer. Remaining we cannot convert. That's it. And boolean to integer also possible, right? It is also possible. Boolean to integer. Next what? Float to integer. Next what? String of integer. These we can convert. Next, same way, let's take here float. Let's take here 10. Yes, 10 points. Integer to float we convert it. And let's take here complex. Can we convert complex to a float? Not possible. Okay, type it. Complex to float, not possible. Next, can we convert boolean to float? Doubt, huh? Because just now I said true means one. True means one means what? 1.0. Yes. Good. Because I said true means one. False means zero. Now let's take float of integer complex boolean is over. Next what? String. Here also we cannot convert. Okay. But let's try like this. Okay. Yes, it is possible. We can convert the what? String of integer. String of integer we can convert into float. Now, can you guess? Can you guess? Yes, online guys. Please respond in the chat box. Hmm? Because in the case of int function, this was error, right? Where I shown? Yeah, here, right? Value error. Here, in this case, this will work. Okay, right. Next, complex. Let's take here complex. So complex, here I will take a single value. Okay, so we are able to convert the integer to complex. Next, tell me, can we convert this one? Yes? Yes. Okay. You try to use the float values also like this. Okay. But you can also try with booleans also. Booleans also. Let's try with strings not possible. Suppose if you give ABC something like that, this is not possible. Okay. Let's try with string of integers like this. This is possible. Let's try with two values here. Okay. Now this is invalid. This will not come. Okay. And also saying that type error, the complex cannot take the second argument if first argument is string. Even if the first argument string or non-string, will not take the second argument as string. Okay. The syntax will not support. Like here, I converted integer to complex, string to complex, boolean to complex. Next what? String of integers and floats also you are able to convert into complex. Let's try this one, complex of, let me try this. Let's see that. Yeah, see. Next what? Bool. Before bool, okay, let's take bool here. Bool. See, for the bool, you have to remember only 2 points as a formula. If you provide bool of falsy values, you provide the bool of falsy values, this will return false. Falsy values means, for example, false, 0. Okay, and empty string. So these type of values are what here? False values. Let's take the is the empty list. Okay, so empty one also false. So like false values means false, 0, empty string. Okay, and let's try one more, none type. None one data type is there, na? Yeah, none. So these type of false values, if we pass to the boolean, that will return what here? False. Other than this, if you pass any other valid numbers or valid values, will return what here? True. Means you have to provide the truthy values. Truthy values means some valid values like 5.6, okay, log 10, like this. You can pass anything valid value. So they are the truthy values. So it returns what here? True. Okay, right. Next, str function. See, there is no incompatible or errors in the case of both. We can pass any type of data here. str of, you can convert the integer to string. Next, same. You can also convert the float to string. You also can convert complex to, can we convert complex to string? Possible? Yes. Now tell me, can you convert Boolean to string? Tell me fast.
Yes, 1.
Boolean to string. Okay. Now see. Now tell me what is the answer for this? Tell me what is the answer for this? Huh? Okay. Before this, 1 minute. Value for this. Also, that is in string form. Listen, what I do, I am passing like this. Tell me. What is the answer and why that answer also you have to tell. You are confident. Yes, online guys. What is the answer and tell the reason also for that. Okay. Huh? You tell me what is the answer. False, huh? False. Okay. Yes. Answer చెప్పండి. Huh? Error. Okay. False. Error. Okay. False. Yes, online guys, can you respond? Can you respond? All of you will see that I'm asking a simple question to you. What you are expecting the answer? He's saying that false because it's already a string. Okay, if it is already a string means false. Okay, yes, guys, please tell me. Can I say answer? The answer is false. False. How many said this? Okay. Why false? Tell me. Someone has given out because it's already a string. He said. Someone. Any other answer? False is a literal. Literal. Uh, hmm. So basically, false means actually see if you represent anything in quotation, there is a string. Okay, string we are converting into string only again. So same value will return. Understanding? The string you are converting into string only. Okay, someone has responded no here. False because it's already a string. As okay. Yeah. Okay. Next. Okay. So string I pass to the integer, float, complex, bool, and also see. Yeah, tell me, is it boolean or what? Is it boolean value now? String, not boolean. Because if you represent that any sequence of characters in quotation, that is not a boolean, right? This is not a boolean. If you write directly like this without any quotation, that is a boolean. But once if you represent using quotation, that is not a boolean. There is a string now. Okay? That's why string we are able to convert into string only. That's why answer is as it is false. Okay? Right. Okay. Next, 。 Okay. So this is what actually typecasting on which one in float, complex, bool, and also string. And if you observe here, whenever you are converting the data using the bool function and str function, there is no errors. You can do on any type of data using the str and also bool. But remaining int float complex, you are raising some. I mean, this program sometimes some statements are not working, raising some errors. Okay, right. Fine. This is what actually typecast. Next, 1 minute. Yeah. Any doubts about this typecasting? Right now, I shown only on the fundamental data. Later, we have some little bit advanced data types. On this also, we can do the typecasting. Okay, now that we'll see later. Don't worry. Right. Next, we have one more topic is called mutable and immutable objects. See, to understand this topic here, first you imagine object means what? Simply remember, object means memory. What is that here? Memory. Object means memory. Just you remember, right? Later, I'll give the definition for this object also. Okay? Memory, right? Right. Now, what is mutable and immutable object here? See, in Python, we have some different types of objects. For example, see, actually, internally, all these data types also what here? Objects only, internally. But here, first, these. int, float, complex, bool are the, these are actually single element objects. Int 10 means single element, float 1.5 single element, complex 2 plus 3j for example, single element, bool true or false. True or false is actually single element, true false. That is not a string. Okay, single element. But remaining, if you observe, for example, string, sequence of characters. There is a group like that. Later we'll see all these. Range also having a sequence of characters. List also sequence of, collection of values. So these are actually remaining or little bit advanced, and also these are called here what here. For example, if I take str, range, list, double set. Okay, these are called actually objects which may contain a single or multiple elements. For example, in quotations, Python, Python. P is one element, Y is one element like that. So these objects may contain a one or more elements internal. Okay, right. So based on this, actually, see, okay, object is like that. Maybe object may contain a single element and also group of elements. Okay. So, okay. Now basically an object means here what? Memory access. So here in Python we have a objects of two types. What are those? Mutable and immutable objects. Okay. However, in next session, I'm going to explain practically what is this mutable and also immutable definition and also practical session. Okay. Fine. I'll share the notes also for you. Today you can check it up to introduction part. Today I'm going to share to you. You can just go to that. And after that, I'm going to share next tomorrow. I'm going to share this fundamentals. Okay. Today you can work on this practically also. Today I started practical also. So you can just refer the video and do as it is whatever I do. Okay. No? Right. Yes. Any queries? Any doubts? Yeah. Yes. First is to A equal 10. Next A equal 20 means if you check the ID, recent A value ID will you will see. Or else first A equal 10, you can print the ID. Then next to A equal 20, you can print the ID. You will be having the two different IDs, two different memories. Okay, no? A equal to after if you try to print A equal 20 only. Okay, now you can check. Right. If you do that step by step, okay, so you will receive the 20. But before A equal 20, if you try to print A value, you will receive what? 10. Before A equal 20 step, if you try to print A equal 10 only, you will receive. Understood? Right. Yeah. Any doubts more? So you can start practical today. Okay, now all of you. So today work you do today only. Like that. Okay. Today just 1 hour session. Just you can work on it. Means today means uh, before coming to the next session within 24 hours. Complete the tasks whatever I give. Okay. Assignments means okay. Just we started practical session. Just wait. Okay. After a few days, I'm going to start giving the assignments. Okay. Fine, guys. If no doubts, we can do the session for today. We continue tomorrow.